It's February 26th, and I have another message from the aliens. I'm an interdimensional communicator, which means I can talk to angels and aliens and other interdimensional beings. Today, I'm coming to you from Siem Reap, Cambodia. Let me show you a little bit more of my background today. It's the pool and lots of lush vegetation here in Cambodia. The reason I'm here is to visit Angkor Wat, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's the home of many temples and an ancient alien landing spot, but Angkor Wat itself is the most famous temple. It translates to City of Temples, and it is said to recreate the home of the gods, just like Mount Meru in the Hindu tradition and Mount Olympus in Greek mythology. Angkor Wat is said to be constructed mathematically to be in harmony with the cosmos, just like the pyramids in Giza, Machu Picchu in Peru, and Chichen Itza in Mexico. At the end of this video, I'll share more about what the aliens told me about this place, which is not what you're going to find in the history books. I'll also share a couple photos from my visit. But first, let's get to today's message. It comes to us from Alien Enki, the leader of the Council of Light, and Alien Prometheus, the leader of the Council of Darkness. Here's how they would like us to imagine them. Until now, Prometheus has preferred his alien expression, but he told me today he wants to switch to his God expression. I'll be updating that on divinealiens.com when I get home. As usual, I received their message telepathically. I typed it up into words on my iPad. Then I checked in with them to make sure they agreed with my interpretation, and now the message is ready for you. Here's what they wanted to share with us today. Today, we want to teach you more about darkness and light. As we've said many times before, darkness is not the same as evil. Evil exists, but originates with human energy. It is fueled by fear in the form of greed, maliciousness, and desperation. Evil is not the opposite of light. Evil is a form of fear, and therefore is the opposite of love. Darkness, on the other hand, is the opposite of light. Darkness and light are two sides of a coin. They are like yin and yang. We can easily have love without evil, but we can't have light without darkness. We tell you this today because soon we will be revealing the truth about evil that has been happening on your planet for far too long. We are not talking about darkness, which can be useful and appropriate under the right circumstances. We are talking about human-made evil. We are talking about corruption and deprivation that goes way beyond what you think you know. You have heard stories of celebrities and billionaires using their resources to commission evil deeds and have evil experiences. These stories are bad, but what you think you know is only a small part of the network of evil that crosses all political borders and is infused into religion, education, and commerce. After we become fully visible, we will be revealing the truth about evil corruption. And although these evil strategies were put into motion decades ago by people who are no longer in power, the people who are now in power could have stopped it, but didn't. We will be exposing these people and the evil choices they made. And that was the end of the message. I asked them, that's the end? Don't you want to add at least a little more detail? And they said, no, not yet. So then I asked, is there a reason you gave us this message today while I'm at Angkor Wat? And they said yes. And then they added this message. Angkor Wat marks the central nexus point of three of Earth's ley lines. Many assume this location feels special because the temples are here, but it's the other way around. The temples were originally built here because the location is so special. The energy is palpable to most humans. Human experts disagree on the history and age of the temples, but most sources will tell you Angkor Wat was built in the 12th century by the king who reigned at that time. That is incorrect. It was a sacred site and one of our most active spacecraft landing spots since before 1000 BC. We built the original temple there more than 12,000 years earlier than what's written in your history books. We chose the location because the energy generated by the ley line nexus point creates an energetic vortex. As such, from the earliest days of human civilization, it attracted those who wished to leverage the energy to worship the gods, as well as those who wished to harness the energy to gain power and control over others. Those who used the site for worship did so with both darkness and light. For example, there were many celebrations of love and deep devotion by ancient peoples, then later in the context of Hindu, then Buddhist traditions. But the ancient cultures also used the site for what scholars refer to as termination rituals. Those were also ceremonial activities, but they called upon the darkness. Most ancient cultures were peaceful and caring towards each other, but when someone lost their way and committed an evil act against humanity, They were terminated in ceremony. Ancient people did not have the concept of hell as punishment for the soul, which was introduced in the context of Christianity much later. Instead, ancient people understood souls must go through many lives to achieve ascension. If a significant mistake was made, for example, intentionally causing the death of another human, the criminal was given the honor of being sacrificed to the gods to pay back karma, earn forgiveness, and come back in the next life to try again. The gods didn't ask for this, but they agreed with the concept and supported the darkness of the tradition. Later, the dark traditions faded away, but evil quickly took its place. The peaceful ancient cultures who lived in the area were attacked by violent forces and much damage was done. This pattern was repeated again and again as different tribes and countries gained and lost control of the area. The battles are well documented in the historical carvings added to the structures by later cultures, as well as the bullet holes that damaged them many years after they were carved. We share this with you today to help you understand the difference between darkness and evil. Human evil has been in a position of power for many centuries until now. Finally, power has tipped away from evil and is moving back towards balance. This shift to balance is the most important trait of New Earth. We are coming to you now to help lock in this shift and to make sure it stays this way. So that's the full message for today. Now, as promised, here's a few photos of me from my Angkor Wat visit. As you can see, it was a beautiful setting, and the temple itself was filled with incredible sculptures and bas-relief details. But what you can't tell from the photos is how it felt to be there. My whole body was buzzing in a way that I've never felt before. Even if I hadn't known it was a ley line nexus point, the physical response in my body would have told me how special it was. And with that, I'll say goodbye from Cambodia. I'll see you again tomorrow for one more message before I begin my long journey home.